Alright, welcome back to the Rising Empires League, and we've got Division 2 here with the Sniper and Maimon playing for Team ABCD here at the lower side of the map, and on the top side we've got GT Lasidanos with GT Calhada and Fleas here on the top side of the map. So Fleas is in the blue trunks on English. Calhada, not sure how to pronounce that. It's here, light blue, HRE. We've got the same composition on the other side of the map with the Sniper in red on English and Maimon in orange on HRE. So we have actually got two French players here on Team ABCD, while Team GT Lasidanos is consisting of both Portuguese players.
Ja, inti.
So I believe most of the region of Portugal was actually referred to as Lusitania, back in the day, a long time ago, back when everyone was an Age of Empires Online character. I mean, just look at Eerie, he still is one. So players all going for the water here. We're here on Baltic for our game number 2, with game number 1 being won by Team ABCD. It's a play all 3 series rather than a best of 3 though, so regardless of the outcome of this game, we'll be going to game number 3. So our players just working on a water eco and age 2 for now. We won't really see anything in the way of stone gathering this early, I don't think, on a map like this. In fact, our players will probably be looking to ramp up this water eco to about 4 or 5 fishing ships, age up, and then look at adding some warships and also trying to get the first drop on the land. Try and harass their opponents' wood lines in particular, because they'll really be trying to pump out hulks and possibly some galleys as well. So galleys actually will benefit from your range damage, and you know your smaller warships are going to benefit from range damage as well as armor upgrades. Well, I believe hulks only benefit from the armor side of things. Demo ships also much the same, but then they've also all got warship upgrades here. You've got incendiary ship damage and explosion radius, sprinkled range and attack speed, extra arrows, your warships, all armor for all ships with armored hull. Arrow ships getting another benefit there from English. Actually, it seems to be a HRE tech as well. So I think the warship techs are a little bit different for some of the civs, but it looks like these two have probably got the most standard lineup in that regard. I don't exactly know what's going on there, but let's just put it down to the captain of that one being a little bit drunk. So, I don't know if anyone's really working towards age ups yet. Well, Sniper is at the moment. And our other English pick, Fleas, yeah, they're both going Council Hall now. A HRE player is going to be slightly slower with their age up. They actually don't start with as much gold because they've got the prelate, but at the same time, we might have an easier time of actually going for a big lake here. So we got 8 fishing ships versus 7. What our English? Oh, it's actually in reverse there for Calhada and Fleece. So we've got Arch and Chapel coming up on both sides of the map now, but our English players would not be far off aging up. Won't actually be committing as many villages to getting it built though, so it will take a little bit. Well, it'll be about the same sort of time that these finish up, in fact. The HRE age ups might be slightly quicker here. So ideally you want to have a lot of food and wood gathering and a little bit of gold here, so I wonder if Calheta is actually going to be on top in terms of the actual warship production. Or he's going to go galleon hull rather than 2 hull. In fact, that seems to be standard for Team GT Lysander. How do you say it? GT Lysander, that's it. We got an early demo ship production here by Maimon. Which would be quite nice if there is ever a greater critical mass on the other side. Having a couple of demo ships up your sleeve can really turn things around quite quickly. Players are trying to minimize damage on any single ship. They don't want to risk losing it this early. They're starting to fall behind in that regard. And it doesn't look as though Felice has started producing any infantry yet. No archers for him yet, but there is a pair of them. The sniper, so this is going to be annoying enough that he's going to deny a bit of gold gathering. May even be able to snipe a villager here, so he will be able to get a villager out of that. So nice for the sniper, and not so nice for the sniped villager of Calheta's. Though he has gone for an early horseman here, so we'll be able to clean them up. Give a break there on the water. Oh no. Production out of that council hall still for Fleas. Well, sniper going to add a barracks there so we can get some spearmen to back up his archers. Maimon just looks to be committing heavily to the water and otherwise just macroing back at home. All those hulks being picked off there by Calheta though, so that's nice for him. This UI don't actually get my favorite part about the caster overlay UI, which is actually the updated all scores screen there. It'd be nice to get that added, guys. I'm not complaining, but I am. Fishing boat's actually chasing this hulk here. Calheta is water eco struggling. I mean, his water army struggling a little bit here. Obviously denied of that gold, and gonna need to get a bit more wood. Probably gonna want to put another lumber camp down over here if he can, or at least shuffle these villagers back across. Because it's a lot of walk time there that he's incurring. We could have these guys better fanned out across here and really save on a bit of that walk time. At the same time, he has actually invested in that extra production facility. We're now going to start seeing longbow production here for Fleas, but we are seeing double barracks here for Maimon. If he's just going for spears, obviously that's quite nice to have those archers, the longbowmen there instead, but he could always be looking to produce man-at-arms. In fact, that's what he's going to go for. It'll be quite tough for Fleas to deal with just longbows. As good as they are against light infantry, they aren't all that hot against the heavy infantry. Fleas does have an impressive water army at the moment, and his top score think considering because he's both got that and a bit of infantry on the map now. Calhita actually slightly struggling a little bit for overall score, I think. So he seems to have been a little bit rattled here. He's already gone for a blacksmith, but no techs being taken from that just yet. Now he's starting to overgather a little bit on the wood. Probably needs to get a bit more food just to be able to make the warships that he wants to make. He's going to need to get a bit more in order to get the hulks. Actually gathering a huge amount of food at the moment. He's continuing to gather quite a lot of wood there. Got man-at-arms out in the field. Cleaning up a couple of those longbowmen, and it looks like Fleas is going to stop producing those. Worry about the water for a bit longer. These archers now being harassed by the sniper who's restarted his longbow production, and he's got a spearman or two here just to back them up. So we've got an early blacksmith here for Calhita, but he's not actually really gathering the food he needs to maintain Hulk production here. He's now going to go for a bunch of explosive ships and Fleas. A solid water composition from him. I think overall the presence on the water is a little bit stronger here for Team ABCD. This is some nice harass here from Maimon, because it's going to be tough for Fleas to do much about this. He's really only got the one longbow there. He's got no real melee frontline. He has got a barracks, and he can make his own man-at-arms. So the beauty of playing English, at least into HRE, is that you can counter early man-at-arms with your own, and vice versa. Whereas the other civs, in this position, it's really rough, but Fleas hasn't noticed what's going on. He's paying a little bit too much attention to the water here. So he's actually dropped 5 villages in total there, when really he probably could have gotten away with only losing 1 had he noticed immediately. So he's going to have to start up his own man-at-arms production. It'll be a bit slow because he's still got to take the upgrade, and he's just finished that. There's also been a bit going on here with the sniper flanking Calhita though. He's got not as much wood in the bank, but he's still got a little bit more. He really needs to up that warship production here. 2 of these docks sitting idle for the moment. This has been a nice concave here from Fleas in particular, with a lot of those hulks fanned out, getting a lot of damage done. Maimon not actually backing up the sniper here at the moment, but he has also dealt some nice damage in his opponent's base, really delayed Fleas' gold income there, and he can possibly go for another whack against those villagers, while the sniper preventing Calhita from finishing up another barracks there and potentially flooding the map with man-at-arms of his own. Does have a reasonable amount of food to be able to afford some. A bit of gold as well, and bearing in mind these warships aren't really all that gold expensive. Oh, and the man-at-arms did pick off one of the villagers there, but this time it's really not able to really decimate the eco. There's another villager over here, just making a shitload of docks here for Fleas. So she's just gathering food a bit aggressively. Doesn't look like Maimon's noticed just yet that he's walking straight past a vill that's right for the picking. A little bit cheeky there, and there's starting to be enough of an army here that it's hard to just stream one man-at-arms production through here and really come out ahead because of it. But Fleas water eco under a lot of pressure there, and Calhita pretty much forced off the water, and on land it's tough for him. Got a lot of idlers here, just a little slow to get them back to work, And he can actually fight this with his villagers against this small number of units, but it's just our players from Team GT Lucidanos are just tapping out there.